So day 3, with no sugar. Going pretty good. Like when I woke up this morning, I felt really good. Like usually in the morning you gotta shake it off a little bit. Like I usually go in the bathroom and just sit on the toilet and have like a very strong coffee and a cigarette and just kind of think about my entire life. But this morning I woke up and it just was like I had a lot more energy and I slept at a normal time. What I'm doing is I was drinking a lot of energy drinks. The coffee ones, the big monster coffee ones. I was drinking like 3 of those a day. And in between, like the little Red Bull ones too. So I was fucking out of my mind, you know? So with the help of Nia, me and her are both doing this. We're cutting out sugar. And the first 2 days were a little hairy. Last night especially, we went for a walk and I was just like, you know, talking about people and complaining about things like I always do, you know, except we're using a lot stronger language and yeah, I wasn't really in a good mood. But today things are good, you know, and it's not as bad. I feel better than I have in a while, you know. It's still early, but and a little bit of the craving. Excuse me. A little bit of the craving. You know what it is really is. And I'm not going to get too deep into the rabbit hole on this one, but of course there's a rabbit hole, right? It's a rabbit hole to all this stuff. There are parasites in your body that feed off sugar. Keeps them alive. That's what. That's one of the bad things too. I mean, sugar, as on its own, is poisonous for your body, especially in the levels that you eat it here. You consume it here in the West. Here in the West. I think the West. This is fucking far from the West. Anyway, yeah, it's just bad for you. So there's these parasites, little fucking things that are in your body that live off the sugar and they eat it all the time. Now they may or may not be tied to the parasitic snake thing that's in the Bible. That, like I said, there's a whole rabbit hole. But we're gonna not talk about that for now. But anyway, so what happens is you'll start like thinking weird, like saying stuff like, you know, I was thinking as I'm sitting there, I'm like, I just wanted to go to the store and like grab a candy bar or something. And I'm like, no, that's not you, that's the parasites talk. The parasites start telling you things. You know, we need sugar. So yeah, it was a little rough as far as that stuff goes. I was in a fucking bad mood. And but that's 2 whole days of no sugar. This is day 3, like I said, and yeah, I feel a lot better. There's a little bit of brain fog, a little bit of dizziness, a little bit of all the things they say. You know, it's they say that going cold turkey isn't really the best thing to do as far as sugar, but I don't know. I figure if I half-ass it, it'll never get done, you know. And one thing I have noticed though is like when I had a banana yesterday and it tasted like a fucking birthday cake. Really weird. Like, cause your taste buds get blown out with all the sugar you're taking. There's sugar in everything too. I mean, it's kind of hard to avoid. Fucking a lot of fast food has it too. Although I don't really eat fast food, but the point is, it's in things that you wouldn't normally think of when you think of sugar. Now, fruit sugar, the sugar in fruit is different than the processed shit that's in everything else. That's okay. You know, that's I guess healthy sugar. I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't. They say 2 to 3 days, and you're detoxed from sugar. Now, of course, Nia is reading all the mainstream kind of science pages about this stuff. So it's not just the sugar. We're trying to do a lot of different, not a lot, but we're trying to back off a lot of stuff. Like just bad food, stuff that's bad for us. And we're trying to eat a lot more, or as clean as possible. Like I always say, it's like everything is poison, for sure. It's just, you got to try to mitigate the poison intake. And for me, it's like I fast a lot. which is, you know, one way of dealing with that, the poison mitigation. You know, so that helps. But I'm trying to just eat like that, avoid refined stuff. You know, I don't know if it'll last forever, that aspect of it, but I want to try to stay with the sugar thing. I want to try to keep off the sugar. And it's not that bad. I mean, there's some irritability. Like I said, last night I was like fucking kind of pissed off. It's funny. I'm like a drug addict. Like I'm thinking, just go get one drink, just one Monster coffee. Just get one. Who cares? You know, you're weaning. Because the mainstream scientific sources, science, small s, in air quotes, will tell you that it's not good to go cold turkey. Of course, because the parasites, you know, I tell the doctors that. But but for real, they are. For real, they are. So they say it's not a good idea to go cold turkey, and you should not take sugar out of your diet completely, because it does things for your body. It's helpful for your body, and I don't know. It's, you know, there was a time when people didn't have this much refined sugar in their bodies. It's like, is that the article talking, or is that the parasite talking? You know, because those things are loud. Now, they affect your brain. They will tell you what to do, or suggest what to do. You know, so I already have a lot of other competing voices. So I'd like to get rid of the parasite voice. Would be good to get rid of. Then I just have all the regular voices that I have to deal with. But yeah, so far so good. I'm gonna update on how it goes. It is important, and it is spiritually connected. I just don't have the time or inclination to get into that. I'm gonna do that though. I'm gonna do some kind of video on that stuff. I gotta do one on, what do you call it? Oh, tobacco too. The good thing about having a small channel, like, why would you do that? That's just looking for attention, you know? You could lay under a tree, you could lay anywhere. They do that a lot though. Like, I'll go to a real busy place on the Kalakaua, and just like when people are trying to walk or get by, and those like spread out. And if you were to, you know, they don't want an ambulance. Like, if I was to go over and ask him what he wants fucking money or drugs or maybe cigarettes. They don't want help, you know. A lot of people that are homeless, that have found themselves homeless because they got priced out of life, you know, they're not out here laying on the side of the rock trying to cause trouble. Or like this guy over here that sits there all day now. There's a guy over there that just sits there all day. When he first showed up in the neighborhood, I was nice to him, you know, gave him some cigarettes. But I had to stop doing that, because now whenever he sees me, he fucking starts screaming. And some people, like, will, if you do stuff for them, and I used to, me and Mia used to be like a two-person fucking Red Cross when we first moved here. And what happens is that, you know, people will, a lot of people, instead of being grateful, or you know, they then instead will see that as where you set the bar. So now when they see you, they expect something. They expect, hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? We'll talk later. It's too chaotic over there. Yeah, they expect it from you. If you don't give it to them, they fucking spurg out. Like this guy over here. I'm just talking about it in the last video, so I'm not gonna go into it. Basically, because I gave him cigarettes, and he sits there all day. Now whenever he sees me, whenever I walk over, he starts screaming, because you know. So I've had to start ignoring him, but that doesn't work. Because like last night, I was walking through there with Nia. I guess I'm telling the story again. I had a Kiss shirt on, and she's just screaming, Kiss, Kiss, and everybody around us is like, why won't this asshole acknowledge the poor homeless man and just say yes, Kiss, because they don't know what the fuck, you know, they don't know the rest of the story. You know, so some people you have to cut off. There was a guy that used to be in this neighborhood too, right? It's I don't see him around anymore though. I think he had some kind of accident that fucked him up. The reason I think that is because he had a lot of tattoos on his neck. And if you're as fucked up as this guy was, you don't usually go into a shop and get work done. They won't work on you. They don't usually work on insane people. So he used to just walk around the neighborhood just asking people for cigarettes in a non-verbal way because he couldn't really speak that well. So I used to hook him up, and I had to stop after a while because he would fucking run across 3 lanes of traffic to get to me, you know. And like, oh man, you know, I'd be with people, and this madman, as I'm crossing the street, will come running into traffic to ask me for a cigarette. How you doing? So, and then one time, I cut him off for a while. And then I started feeling bad because he doesn't understand. He has a brain of a 2-year-old or whatever. I think like I said, he got some kind of brain damage. And so I gave him a couple cigarettes again for a little while, and then it started up again, where he was just always, he'd see me and just come running. So I was in one of my cut off phases with him, where I just can't give him stuff because he's gonna fucking run down the street after me. So I ignore him, you know, and he starts following me. I'm like, you know, what do you do? He's following me, going, okay, I'm not making fun of him, but at the same time, you know, fuck it. I don't, you know, I'm a citizen that I deserve to be fucking left alone. But anyway, so now he's following me all through the street. I just ignored him. He comes into so I cut into the mall. Now, usually, street people of most descriptions, ne'er-do-wells, low-level mutants, when you go into the mall, they won't follow you because they're afraid of the lights, or they're afraid of, like, you know, it's too nice in there. There's too many people in there, so they don't want to go in there, which is good. So I've lost so many tails by going into the mall. I just, you know, I go in there and they're gone. So I walked in there, and he follows me into the mall, still ignoring him. So at some point, I'm like, I'm just gonna stop and pretend I'm on my phone and see what he does. I'll tell him to fuck up. He's behind me, and all of a sudden I'm standing by a fountain, right? And I hear this bubbling in the fountain, and he's got his pants down, and he's pissing in the fucking fountain. You know, of course, there's a guy I'm with, right? I'm with this guy, air quotes, and it's like, what the fuck, man? So you gotta be careful who you're nice to. And that guy in the corner back there, he seemed normal at first. Gave him a cigarette. How you doing out here, buddy? How are things out here? You know, I talked to him, seen him a few times in a row. Talked to him like, hey, you know, you doing all right out here? Just, you know, he seemed kind of normal, a little fucked up. And then now every time he would see me after that. So you gotta be careful with these people. Most of the people that you see hanging out on the street are not people who got behind on rent and they're in a bad situation. Those people are somewhere else trying to work their shit out. Whether they're living out of their car in their parking lot, or they have some kind of shelter, or they're staying somewhere. The guys that are out on the street harassing people, they're not regular homeless people. These guys are not looking for a home, and a lot of times when they get in the home, they get put out of it. You know, I talked to my friend Colt, who I used to hang around with. He got a home finally, and he just fucked it up for himself. He was bringing drug addicts back there, causing a big scene. I was friends with one of his neighbors. He used to tell me the situation in there. It was like he made this house into a dumpster. They're like, you could smell it when he opened the door. And so he got kicked out. And the few times I saw him after that on the street, he seemed so happy. He seemed, hey, well, I'm out on the street again, you know, he's just doing what he... Carrying a box, picking up like fucking... what was he picking up, like wood when I saw him? I don't know what he was doing, maybe starting a fire. Some people just, they're gonna want to be out there, you know, and what do you do with those people? They're gonna want to be out there, like the homeboy on the corner there. And the problem is, you know, as we were just talking about that guy in the corner, I panned the camera over to him, and there's someone giving him stuff. So people give him stuff all day, sit in the corner, So he stays there. He's there night, morning, afternoon. You go over there, he's over there. So, but because of that, I just cross the street now. Because if I walk over toward him, which I usually do, because that's the way I usually go when I'm heading up anywhere, I walk by the ABC. You start spazzing out. Wants me to give him something. And, I mean, that's one time, and this is common, they'll have a bunch of shit in their hands, right? These guys. Excuse me. They'll have like food on their lap, a cigarette in their mouth, drinks in their hand, like stuff people give them. I'll lay on them, and they see you and they'll still freak out for something. Hey, you got a quarter? It's like, dude, fucking take care of the stuff you have now. Or that's your cigarette with one in their mouth. It's like that, though. You can't engage with those guys because it's there's some kind of mental illness going on there, and yeah, it's sad, but there's nothing you can do about it. So whatever. There's still some good guys that regulars that I still hit up and give stuff to, give money, cigarettes to, and you know, there's always some semi-normal ones, but some of them are just, when you give them something, it's like leaving the milk out for the cat. You know, it's just like, oh, well, there's a guy that gives me this. And once you don't, sometimes they get angry. Even I've had that happen in the past before, where it turns into like almost an extortion situation where, well, you gave me this before. So that used to happen a lot. Not to me. I'd see it happen to other people. People tried to do that to me, but I shut that shit down immediately. I don't care. I'll fucking fight you in the street, you know, and then I'll regret it later when I get arrested, have to go to court, and they just slither under a rock, you know, because they're not going to get arrested because they don't have anything. The cops will arrest me because they know I live here and they know I have money. In some, you know, description, obviously I live here. So yeah, and plus I'm Mahauli, so they're fucking, they get a hard on when they can fucking bust me in some way. It's not going to get your island back, buddy. You fucking gave it away. You gave it away thinking you were going to get shiny things for it. And now that you didn't get your shiny things, now you're mad. Now it means something to you. It's like the sacred thing. Take it. You weren't that way before. When they rolled up in their ships, you were doing anything to give your shit away so you could get shiny. You know, I'm not going to answer that. Oh, I'm not getting into that right now. I got to go inside. See, I'm getting angry because of the fucking sugar. But yeah, sugar, homeless. I think we covered everything for right now. Till next time, don't blame the teacher, blame the school.